Hi there. Okay, we are here for another music lesson. In today's lesson, we'll be learning singing and listening. What did I say? Singing and listening. So we're going to take one after the other. Like we'll take singing first, then we move on to listening. Are we good? Okay, we kickstart. First, before you go into any word, you have to know the definition, know its nooks and crannies, know everything about the word so you can use it expressively, right? Okay, so now, first, what is singing? Now, definition have shown that singing is the act of creating musical sounds with our voice. What did I say? Singing is the act of creating musical sounds with our voice. So you know what the voice is already, right? You know what the voice is. You use your voice for singing, you use your voice for talking, you use your voice for whispering, you use your voice for screaming. You use your voice a lot, so you know what the voice is. So the act of creating musical sounds with the voice is called singing. Okay. So now, the person who sings is called what? A singer. You got it. Okay, so a person who sings, a professional person, or a person whose profession is singing, is called a singer. Or you can call the person an artist. You can also call the person a vocalist. You get it? So I've given you three names for a professional singer, for a person singing professionally. So we have the first to be a singer, or you can call the person an artist, or you can call the person a vocalist. Okay, so now, can you give me an example of singers you know? Okay. So we have Dolly Parton. We know Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton. Okay, we know Michael Jackson. Woo! We know Michael Jackson. I know we don't know these two I'm going to mention. We have Pavarotti, a strong operatic singer. We have Andrea Bocelli, a very strong operatic singer. We have a lot. We have tons of singers. We have tons of artists. You know, when we come down to Nigeria, we have Wizkid, we have D'banj, you know them. Okay, so those are examples of singers. Okay, so singing can both be natural talent or a skill. What do I mean by this? You can be born to have a nice voice. We have a lot of students that can sing without being taught. They have very beautiful voice, lovely voices. When they sing, oh, you can get to the moon and come back. So that is natural for them. But we have others that do not have a good voice. So they have to learn it as a skill. They have to learn. They have to go through a lot of rigorous activities like the exercises, warm up, and all of that to build their skill. That's why we say that singing can both be natural and can be skill. You can learn it as a skill. Okay, you get it? That is about singing. Now, someone may ask, how can I learn this skill? How can I learn this skill called singing? Okay, that is when we go into how to sing. Now, just the way we know about our daily exercises, you get to the gym, you try to build your muscles daily, doing your press up, doing your daily exercises. Same is applicable to your voice. You have to go on daily warm up, you have to do your daily vocal warm up, you have to do a lot of exercises for your voice to come to that texture you need. You get it? So you have to sing. First, you start by singing your middle range. That's your comfortable voice. You get to the lower range where you're not very comfortable with, like my bass brothers. Okay, so you now move on to your high range where you're feeling so not comfortable. It's very high for you. You're trying to scream instead of singing. You get to it daily activity. Get back to your normal range where you feel comfortable. Now, those daily exercises that help you to learn the skill of singing. They help you to learn the skill of singing. Are we good? Any questions so far? Put it on the comment section. Okay, now we'll move on to listening. We've spent a lot of time in singing already, so let's move on to listening. Okay, listening. What is listening? Listening, according to dictionary, is the ability to accurately receive and interpret information or messages in the communication process. Now, before I recap the definition, there are some keywords I want you to take note before I go back. Accurately receive. First, interpretation of information, or interpreting the information or message. 2. Then the third one, communication process. It therefore means that there must be 2 or more persons for listening to take place, right? Okay, so I go back to the definition. Listening is the ability to accurately receive, like you receive a bird, and interpret in the communication process. Okay, so you get it. So when we talk about ability, we have a lot of people that cannot listen, the deaf, they cannot hear. So when you cannot hear accurately, you cannot distinguish what you've been told from what you're hearing. It means that you have a listening disability. You get it? Okay, so now you accurately receive means you can hear and interpret the information or message passed to you in a communication process. Example, a teacher teaching the student. So you see now that is a communication process where a teacher is teaching the student. That's a communication process. Now the student listening to the teacher to receive the information must accurately pay attention. You get it? So that is the explanation about listening. That's the explanation about listening. You get it? So we have a lot of listening, types of listening. We have a lot. We have like 18 types of listening. But in music, we have to come into one. We have to come into one, and that's the only one I'm going to tell you. That is active listening. Active listening. Active. Like the word entails. Active, active, active. Jumping, flying, running. Active. Okay. So active listening, that is what we emphatically talk about in music. Now, what is this active listening? Active listening refers to the conscious choice to focus on a piece of music undisturbed by other stimuli. Active listening refers to the conscious choice to focus on a piece of music undisturbed by other stimuli. Now that is a plural word, stimuli. We have stimulus as singular, then stimuli as plural. Okay. So when you consciously choose to listen to what you're being told, that is active listening. I might be talking to you, I might be teaching you, and you refuse to listen to me. But you can still hear me. Why? Because your hearing ability is active. But when you choose to listen to every detail of what I say, that is active listening. And you know the good thing about this active listening? It makes your communicator enjoy the conversation. If I'm talking to you and you don't listen to me, I will not enjoy talking to you. But if I'm talking to you and you are listening to me, it makes the conversation, it makes my talking more enjoyable to me talking to you and to you listening to me. You got it? Okay. So once you remove distraction and focus your attention to the music, you shift into what we call active listening. You get it? Now, there's this lovable part that listening is a substantial way of musical knowing. If you are not a good listener, you can never be a good musician. That's the take-home test. That's the take-home text. If you are not a good listener, you can never be a good musician. Now, in this lesson, we've learned singing and listening. We talked about the definition of singing. I explained that. We talked about a person who sings to be called a singer. And I gave you some examples. I gave you 4 examples. I told you about Dolly Parton. I told you about Michael Jackson. I told you about Pavarotti. My God. I told you about Andrea Bocelli. My God, too. Those are operatic star singers. Okay, we now narrow down to how to sing. We talked about natural and skill. So if you are not a natural singer, how do you build a skill? I told you about how to sing. Okay, now we entered listening. I gave you some definition about listening. Then we moved on to types of listening, of which I told you only one. You got it? Which is what? Active listening. Very correct. Active listening. Woo! So that brings up to the end of our lesson today. So thank you for being my student. I love you. Till we meet again. Goodbye.